Because if it's not your money and you go and spend it and then you print from that day, it's going to be suspicious. Just prepare to be there the whole day. How much does it cost to relocate? It depends. It doesn't come cheap, guys. It doesn't come cheap. It's a lot of money. I won't even lie. It's a lot of money, and you just have to be prepared. That's why I say you need to pray. It's not something that you just rush into bam like that. It's a lot of money. It takes a lot of effort, and you just need to be very, very prepared. Okay. It also depends on your situation. The amount of money a single person will use to relocate to the UK is not the same amount of money a married couple will spend. It's not the same amount of money a family of 5 will spend. Do you understand? And somebody that is going to Coventry is not going to spend the same amount of money as somebody going to Hull. Okay, so it just depends on your situation. What are the things that you pay for? Your school fees, I think, is usually between 12,000 and 18,000 pounds, depending on the school. It might be more. I don't think it's less, but it might be more. So that's how much school fees is for international students. That's the range. Your visa, I think student visa costs 424 pounds. You have to pay for IHS, so that's like medical insurance. Again, that depends on your course. If your course is 1 year, I think it's a bit lower than if your course is 2 years or 16 months. So I'm not sure the exact amount for IHS. I'm not sure. Some people will say it's 800 pounds. I paid 1,200 pounds for IHS because my course is 16 months. So I can't say the exact amount. I think it just depends on the length of your course. There's a calculator anyway on the UK Gov website. There's a calculator, so you put in your course start date, your course end date, and it will automatically calculate for you how much your IHS will be. You might need to pay for your biometrics depending on the center. For the VI center for biometrics, there is a £55 fee. Till today, I don't know what that £55 fee is for, but there's a £55 fee that you would need to pay if you're going to do your biometrics at the VI TLS center. Okay, that's basically, TLS is your visa application center. There's VI, there's Ikeja, there's Abuja. I think that's all. I think those are like the basic expenses: your school fees, your IHS, your visa, and then that fee. But it depends. That fee, it depends really. If you decide to go to Ikeja, then that fee it's not part of it. And then we come to proof of funds. So again, your proof of funds depends on you. It depends on where you are going. If you're in London, there's a certain amount. I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen if I can calculate. There's a certain amount if you're schooling and living in London. If you are schooling and living outside of London, there's also a certain amount. So your proof of funds is your the balance of your school fees, as well as the money that will sustain you for, I think, 9 months. So you calculate that. So your own money is different from the money for your dependents. The money for your dependents is lower. So you've got to be able to prove that you have that amount of money. Let me just give like rough estimates. For a single person, 10 million naira should be enough for proof of funds. For a family of 2, I would say 14 to 17 million naira. For a family of 3, I think 20 million naira. It might be 18, but just, if your proof of funds is 17.5, just do 19. Do you understand? Just to give that gap because of exchange rates and everything, just to give that, allowance and to be on the safe side. I know some people will be like, hey, 17 million naira, where do I want to see the money? Now, this is another advice. To be honest, when you want to start to relocate, it just looks like a lot. It's like, hey, Chineke God, where do I begin? Who will help me buy? God wabego. Who go help? But I advise you guys to just start the process. To be honest, when God is involved in something, once you start it, before you know it's provision, things will just be moving. It will just be working. I personally feel like if God has approved something, if you want to relocate and God has said, okay, yes, go ahead, it will just work out for you, and somehow you will get that help that you need. So don't look down on yourself. Don't think, oh my God, where do I want to see 20 million naira? Hey, even if I like, there's some people that even be like, if I want to even borrow the 20 million, where will I see maybe 200k to be paying per day? You know, because some of these banks, some of these people that loan you the money for proof of funds, they will charge like 10%, and you pay that 10% every day or every week. It depends on how the routes that you want to take anyway. And you know, not everybody has family members that can help, you know, send the money to your account and collect it back later. So, but yeah, that's my advice to you. Just start the process, and the money will just be coming by the grace of God. So yeah, what other expenses there? Your accommodation. Except you are staying in student accommodation, that's university hostel, you can't get accommodation from Nigeria. Forget it. You cannot get accommodation from Nigeria. I said it here. If you got accommodation, proper house, while you were in Nigeria, you got it here in the UK, come and prove me wrong. Come outside and prove me wrong. You can't get it. So just plan for your accommodation. If it's an Airbnb, you want to stay or in a hotel, plan for accommodation for at least 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, so that you can just come and you know that you have where you are staying while you go house hunting and everything, and so that's just out of the way. What other expense? I think just your transportation from the airport to wherever it is that you're going to. Okay, so standard student visa takes 3 weeks. Priority visa is 1 week. Super priority is 1 day. However, I think because this September period, a lot of people, I kid you not, a lot of Nigerians are going to the UK. And so, and then they suspended priority and super priority, but then they resumed mid-August. So I think because of that, they had like it was a lot for them. So it wasn't taking 3 weeks any longer. It was taking 4 weeks. About 4 weeks, the wait time. Before, like around June, July, it was like 15 working days. You just count. On the 15th working day, you either get your collection mail or your visa is delivered to you on that day. However, towards the end of August, then September, it now started moving to like 21 working days, 22 working days, 27 working days. So let me just you guys about our experience and talk to you about one mistake that we made. It wasn't intentional, it just happened like that. So this is the process, guys. Once you've gotten your admission from your school, you've gotten your CAS and everything, you apply for your visa. The next thing is to do your biometrics. That's where they take your fingerprint and your picture. That's what's going to be on your visa. That's what's going to be on your BRP. Okay, we applied for visa July 3rd, right? And on that July 3rd, I was just looking, I'm like, okay, when is the nearest date for biometrics? But I applied in the night, like around 11. It was almost midnight, and I was very tired. So like I saw some dates. I think I saw 13th of July. I think I saw 10th. But at that time I was still working, so I was like, will I not be able to? And I was feeling sleepy. Remember I said it was almost midnight when I applied. So I was like, tomorrow me and my husband will look at it. I don't think my husband was around. I applied for the both of us. He wasn't around the day I applied. So I just left. I was like, I'll continue later, Jerry. Big mistake. See, as soon as you apply for that visa, you've paid, you've uploaded your document, just fly to the TLS website, fly there and go and look for biometric dates. That's one big mistake we made that I wish we didn't make, because we wouldn't have had the sort of anxiety that we had. Now let me explain what I mean. Because there are a lot of people applying for visa, right? A lot of people are also picking the dates for biometrics, and because it's Nigeria, there's a lot of underground, back door thing, and it doesn't make any sense. So it can be very, very stressful. So before we eventually picked a day for biometrics, it was like maybe July 7th or 8th. So we're now seeing different dates. I'm like, what happened? I picked VI. In fact, I didn't even know that he had picked Ikeja. And when that happened, I was like, okay, is it not possible to change the location? You cannot change the location. Once you have picked TLS VI, you are going to TLS VI. Once you have picked TLS Ikeja, you are going to TLS Ikeja. So we're seeing different dates. So around that time, the earliest dates that I saw was July 27th. while my husband's earliest date was July 19th. I'm like, no, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So we're even wondering, like, why are the dates different? What's happening? That's when we realized that I picked Ikeja, I picked VI, and he picked Ikeja. So we're now trying to change back. It didn't work. We're like, okay. So what it does is when you pick a date, it will hold it for you, I think, for 20 minutes or so. So I was like, let's refresh the page. So I canceled. I said, don't hold it for me again. I canceled it. When we refreshed, started again. Ikeja still had 19th. VI did not have 27th again. It was now August 3rd. Hey, I say, God, what is going on here? I just locked down the August 3rd immediately. I was like, hey, let me just lock it down and book it. I'll keep checking. If there's an earlier date, fine. If there's no earlier date, fine. So at this point, my husband's biometric was for July 19th. My own biometric was for August 3rd. And if you do it July 19th, that's enough time for them to make a decision on your visa. By August 3rd, they probably decided already. So it was just like, oh God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We made so many calls. We called people in the visa application center. We called people that have done British visa before. Like, hey, God, please, what do we do? So one major thing that all of them said was like, it doesn't matter where you do it. Ikeja or VI, it doesn't matter. But that 19th and 3rd does not make sense. That as a family, I'm going as a student, he's my dependent. So it doesn't make sense that he's going 2 weeks before me. So they will see his application and then they are looking, okay, who is the student that this person is dependent on? And they will not see my own. Like, do you understand? Like, my cost issues. So we're like, okay, let's now go back. So me, I kept on checking. VI did not have an earlier date. In fact, after that 3rd, the next one was 17th or something. So we went back to his own portal and we checked Ikeja and we saw that Ikeja had August 3rd, but for premium lounge. So we had to pay 42,000 for him so that he can get that August 3rd, but premium lounge. So we're able to get August 3rd. So the two of us were now August 3rd, but I was in VI, he was in Ikeja. So I feel like that's a mistake that we made, and I want everybody to know it. Don't be thinking, oh, my husband has gotten a different date. I have gotten, why are these days different? Okay, you pick another location and look for, pick the same location. So that all you need to do is now look for the same date and do it at the same time. And once you get the same date, lock it down immediately. Because there are some people that they'll be checking midnight, they'll be refreshing. There's no guarantee that when you refresh like that, you will see anything. So please though, even if we had done that July, the 27th I did, that's just a week after 19th, which was his initial date. So I think it would have still been okay. So around like mid-August, we would have gotten our visa. But because we did it August 3rd, it was supposed to be like 15 working days, right? So we're waiting till like, let's say 18th, 20th of August for us to get our visa. That was not the period they resumed priority and super priority. Hey, Father Lord. Every night I'll be dreaming, I'll be seeing myself in UK. I'll go and be checking the calendar. Every day I'll open the calendar, I'll count from the 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 12 days. Hey, today is 16 days. Today is 17 days. Today is 19 days. Jesus. So a letter now came. Our BRP letter now came. And in that letter, they said our application for a visa has been successful. And this is the letter that we use to collect our BRP. I don't still believe me. I will still like, I want to see my passport with the visa inside before I believe anything. So I think it was on the 18th or 19th day we got that BRP letter. And then 2 days after, we now got a mail from TLS. And God just did it that it was the same day my husband got his mail from TLS that his passport is ready for collection, but we paid for courier service. So his passport is ready for collection. Same day I got my own mail, passport ready for collection. My husband got his own passport, I think the next day, the next afternoon, because it was Ikeja and we lived in Ikeja. So Ikeja wasn't far, so it's not far. So he got his the next day. I think I got mine like 2 days after. I was not like, hey, wait till they stop. Where's my passport? Where's my passport? They should have brought it the next day, and oh God, the wait was finally over. Now, another reason why we were like, hey, Father Lord, we were kabashing, guys, because we just felt like, oh, 15 working days now. So we bought our tickets, I think 3 days after our biometric, because we're looking at prices of tickets and everything. We're like, this price that we're seeing now, we might not see it if we wait till September to buy these tickets. Let us buy it now. So it's fate that we used to buy our ticket too. And the visas arrived, I think, either 12 days, I think 12 days before our flight. So we didn't even have enough time. It was like to pack, to sell off everything and just start coming here. Because it's fate that we used to buy that ticket, and it just worked out for us. So thank God. That's the whole wahala about the visa and, you know, the biometrics and everything. So what I would advise is just try to get the earliest date possible, the earliest date for your biometric, and just try to stay positive. Try to distract yourself. So there was this group I joined on Telegram where people were awaiting their visa, and people were like 30 working days, they've not seen their visa. What's going on? They've not seen their passport, they've not gotten collection mail, nothing. What is really going on here? So just because of that delay, it's best to look for the earliest date possible. And I don't know, if you're going to use Faith to buy your ticket, just push it a bit far, so that, you know, you can gauge and balance and also pray. Because at the end of the day, right, we may make our plans, but it's God that determines the way that our plans go. So you need to pray, you know, involve God every step of the way, and don't just pray that, Father, let my visa come, let my visa come. The visa will come, you will not forget to pray, you will not be praying again, you will forget God that brought the visa to you. Don't do that. It's not good. Don't be like those people. Don't be an ingrate. Don't be like the 9 lepers. Come back to say thank you and stay there and be saying thank you to Jesus. So yeah, that's the whole process. I don't know if I touched on everything, but if you've got any questions, yeah, just leave them in the comment section. I'm going to film another video. I'm going to do like a Q&A if you've got any specific questions, maybe about my school or about the process, or if there's anything I didn't really talk about that you need clarity on. Yeah, just drop the questions in the comment section and I will do a separate video answering all those questions. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.